Alright, my left hand bass is a little bit rusty, but today's video is getting back into solo piano techniques, and we're talking left hand bass. So this is something I have not covered on my channel in a really long time, but we're going to be talking about walking bass lines. How do we actually form a good walking bass line? What is the science behind it, right? But really quick, before we jump into that, if you're new to the channel, please consider clicking the subscribe button and hitting the bell to turn on notifications so you don't miss any more video content just like today's video. All right, let's dive right into it. So just to start off, the first step really to playing walking bass lines is getting comfortable with doing just a 2 feel. So that's what I did to start off in the example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right? So we're kind of playing a note every 2 beats. And so that right there, that's what we refer to as a 2 feel. And you'll notice maybe even in a trio, a lot of the time the bass player might start off someone's solo with that 2 feel. Okay, so walking bass lines in general are based on playing the chord tones of each chord, right? So, it's something we talk about in improvisation as well. Can we land chord tones on the strong beats? Now, the strong beats when we're talking 4/4 are going to be beats 1 and 3. They're kind of the beats that are grounding, the beats where kind of the fundamental emphasis of the beat lies, despite, our kind of feeling it on 2 and 4 for swing. Again, the grounding of the beat is beats 1 and 3. So it really helps our ears connect chords together when we hear those chord tones on beats 1 and 3. So we try to do the same thing in forming good right hand, melodic bebop lines. It's actually something I've talked about before in the channel. So if you want to learn more about that, I'll be sure to link it up there or wherever the link goes. So when we're doing a 2 feel, it's the same concept, right? We're going to hit the roots of each chord, generally on beat 1 of wherever the chord changes, right? So whether that's at the beginning of the bar or halfway through. So in this blues example, we've got F7 going to B flat 7. And in between those roots, we can add some passing tones, which could be other chord tones, so the 1, 3, 5, or 7 of the chord, or they could just be a little chromatic passing tone. So check this example out. Playing the 1 to the 3, and now on the next chord, as we change to B flat 7, we're playing the 1, and then a little passing tone, and now we're getting to kind of a C minor 7, so we can do kind of a 2-5 to the B flat 7 of the blues. So we're hitting 1, and then a passing tone, which happens to be minor 3, to 1 of the next chord, and we land on 1 of the next chord, right? And so that is really all there is to it when it comes to that 2 feel. So you'll notice a lot of these passing tones are just little chromatic notes either above or below the actual chord tone that we're landing on, or above or below the root. So that's essentially how it works. Now, when we actually want to get into a walking bass line, the concept is exactly the same, but now we just have to play twice as many notes, or kind of walk the bass twice as quickly. So now instead of a note every 2 beats, we do a note every single beat. And we're going to use a little bit more chord tones here. So now we've got the F7 to the B flat 7. So basically what we're doing is playing the 1 and then using some melodic notes to walk down to the 1 of the next chord. So we're doing 1, flat 7, 13 if we're thinking dominant, or 6 of the scale, 5 to the B flat. So that's our first bar. 1, flat 7, 6, 13, 5, and we land on B flat. So there are different options for how we could do this. We could do 1 down to 3, down to 5, and then a little chromatic tone to the B flat, right? We could do like that. We could do we're basically just creating little melodic cells with passing tones, trying to get as many chord tones on beats 1 and 3 as we can, and landing the roots where the chord changes. And that's it. And we can start to form bass lines as we get better at this. And that's that, right? So what you can do is actually practice these little melodic cells that will help you formulate bass lines. So, practice going from 1 to the 4. Practice going from the 4 back to the 1. You could practice these little cells over 2 5-1s to formulate better walking bass lines. Now, a couple little tricks we can do just to emphasize the swing. That little rhythm. Da 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 da. So we're hitting it on the third of the triplet, right? And another one is this little octave hop. So to practice this stuff, I would recommend taking it slow. Start by just practicing chords in the right hand. And then from there, you could start by doing some really simple melodies in the right hand. Right? Just come up with a little melody. And then finally, then we add an improvisation. And so the more you practice this stuff, the better you will get at it. Now, I honestly would not call myself the greatest walking bass player in the world. There are guys out there who play tons and tons of organ who are just incredible at this. But throughout the years, I've been able to get it to a point where I'm fairly comfortable doing it and playing lots of gigs that require me to play left-hand bass as part of my solo piano playing. So I think it really is a super important, essential skill. And when we're talking about every single solo piano skill that you need for the piano, this definitely should be in there. All right, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. If you want to work on some of this type of stuff, check out jazzpianoconcepts.com/store. I've got tons of different voicings and voicing exercises and different specialized improvisation exercises for download that you can check out. Also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to click subscribe and click the little bell to turn on notifications so you don't miss any more videos just like this one. And if you got a lot out of this lesson, I would really appreciate you hitting that like button. All right, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week.